prophet in Islam. We study the ancient manuscripts, Moorish Quran. Everything we do is halal, some haram. Know it sounds like the hook, but this is the song. When I see a brother, I greet him with salam. Want the whole truth about Hitler and Saddam. Devastated what you did in Vietnam. Out of this advantage, so they had to use bombs. It's been a few years, I read my Proverbs and Psalms. When I see my sisters, I tell them sit calm. It's your destiny, you hold it in your palm. Mr. Popularity never cared about the prom. One of life's great mysteries, young phenom. I am that I am, that's word to my mom. Moved out the rough edges, eliminate the arms. Know what you're pledging, no Uncle Tom. We coming for our territory, taking back Guam. With that old time good spell, I wave my magic wand. And the omnipresent vibration sound is on. It's on.
Mars don't give it away. Yo, Mars don't give it away. Every time that I accelerate, they copy. I'm the master. Take our mothers and the fathers. Great, get me the stay. Great the masterpiece for masters trying to masterpiece. This time I'm like a masterpiece. This law gon' get me the bread. Yo, Mars don't give it away. They play your life but try to take you. Can you count how many times I'll try and break you? Try to guide a great clue. Struggle size 8 shoot. A mind of my own with a great truth. I sip a little Grey Goose while swerving on the state troops while plotting my escape of they rules, they schools, they jewels. They couldn't help my shine like chemicals. I'm at the top of my class on the pedestal. I throw that latitude, that's HB number 2. And keep my name out your mouth unless it's about the bread, my youth. Or to come up with the money that you run up when this chrome game's turn up in my young guards aim and shoot. With your lame excuse, nah, never that. This a full force sound system, level that. Yo, you only talking fiat where your level's at. This is God body, show me where the devil at. I'll let you read what this life about. We the lawmakers, architects, and still they doubt. We keep it factual with math and science practical. They love to hate the natural. Pain with the gain, no clout. A little fame couldn't stray, I remain on route. I move mountains, earthquakes on speakers. Something often counting these occurrences, they speechless. For the world, I'm the teacher. I'm sure like the beaches, keeping everything de jour. I'm the one with the features that they envy. We the reason that they seek us to take us out every season. So, Mars don't give it away. Yo, Mars don't give it away. Every time that I accelerate, they copy. I'm the master. Take our mothers and the fathers. Great, get me the stay. Create the masterpiece. The masters trying to masterpiece. This time I'm like a masterpiece. This law gon' get me the bread. Yo, Mars don't give it away. Yo, Mars don't give it away. Why am I in this?
She good. She good. Goddess outstanding, keeps order, she Dejure. I thought Orisha Omega deity, she a more amongst the elite, but relate to the core. She command the fleet first to step on the shore. Snooze never sleep, won't hear me snore.
Hey yo, play me once, you'll never snake me twice. Break this smoke, you'll never save my life. Never rolling with that piece, so respect my life. Respect my life, yo. Mars don't give it away. Yo, Mars don't give it away. Every time that I accelerate, they copy. I'm the master. Tape our mothers and the fathers. Great, give me the stay. Create the masterpiece for masters trying to masterpiece. This time I'm like a masterpiece. This law gon' get me the bread. Yo, Mars don't give it away. Yo, Mars don't give it away. Respect my life. 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 Never. Hello. ¿Cómo está? Hey. You know the PM studio, man. 7998 Premier Road. Yeah, go with it. Hello. Buenas noches. Why did I go to the end of the song for real?
Soulful rising, afternoon, evening, for wherever you may be at this point in time during this reading. I greet you in love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. we are back yet again for another breakdown or simple reading of some poignant information here now on this 6th day of the 3rd month of the Gregorian calendar. And we are through with what is known as the so-called Black history. But as we know, that's a falsehood, because first and foremost, black is a color and an adjective, so there could be no history associated with a color or an adjective. And we are pressing on to some very important information that encompasses world history, which is truly Moorish history and culture. More importantly, as it relates to the reading of this booklet, short and compact, profound and explosive piece of literature, a tribute to the true inventors of American culture, the Moors of North America, compiled by Ras Mariah V. Bey, edited by Taj Tariq Bey, in association with Al Moroccan Star newspaper, Moors Order of the Round Table, and R.V. Bey Publications, Changing the Literature, printed February 2004. Pardon me. Upon seeking information, one will find it. It requires a simple yet close examination of the history that has been told, putting it to the test through examination of the obvious, coupled with the utilization of the highest science known to man, common sense. And we all know that common sense ain't common. And we all know that there are many who are arrogantly ignorant. I digress, pressing on. A tribute to the true inventors of American culture, historical facts. The Constitution for the United States Republic of Central North America was adopted from the pre-existing ancient laws of the Aboriginal and indigenous natural peoples of North America. The Constitution was drafted under the guidance and direction of our ancestors to protect our unalienable rights. Thomas Jefferson, a master mason, and other well-prepared and principled representatives of the colonies were present. The Constitution is the supreme law of the land. This makes the Constitution a governance document, which is derived from the most ancient civilized governmental principles in the world. However, due to the subverting agenda of the corrupt body of men amongst the colonizers, the Constitution was and is being violated every day, even by those who were elected into government offices and took a solemn and binding oath to uphold it and to defend it. They have ignored and violated their obligations to the supreme law and to the natural people for whom the Constitution contract was established to secure and to protect. The Constitution and the Republican form of government which it established does not give you rights. Let's repeat that. The Constitution and the Republican form of government which it established does not give you rights. The Constitution and the Republican form of government is in place to secure and protect your natural and unalienable rights and birthrights. Let's repeat that one. The Constitution and the Republican form of government is in place to secure and to protect your natural and unalienable rights and birthrights. Never forget this fact about why government is formed. Be diligent. The Constitution for this North American United States Republic guarantees a Republican form of government, not a democratic form of government. Note the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Again, I pledge allegiance to the flag, which is actually a banner, because there's a song that clearly says that as well, of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Article 4, Section 4, United States Republic Constitution. The United States shall guarantee to every state in this union a Republican form of government. I'm going to repeat that before we finish the entire thing. The United States shall guarantee to every state in this union a Republican form of government, not democratic, not a democracy. Nowhere does it say in the entire Constitution anything about a two-party government. They are playing with your mind. And shall protect each of them against invasion, which they haven't, because clearly a democracy is a violation of the Constitution, and on application of the legislature or of the executive when the legislature cannot be convened against domestic violence, which again, clearly they have not. You know, mass shootings and bombings and all kinds of other heinous acts that have been portrayed against not only the natural people, but even the citizens. There is a distinction. Natural, citizens, and the other citizens grafted into, i.e. naturalization, to be a part in this land by contract. The falsely yet commonly alleged democracy propagation statements and activities made by deviant politicians are evidence of the deceptive and colorable political usurpations made against the rightful and de jure Republican form of government as established by the Constitution. The true foundation for the Republic is represented by the pyramid, as displayed on the back of the $1 bill. The pyramid is the obverse and principal side of the national seal and has written under it the Great Seal. This is of the ancient primary source, origin, and foundation. Under the reverse side of the national seal reads, of the United States. The word of is a preposition. You know those pesky 8 parts of speech? Noun, pronoun, verb, adverb. Adjective. Preposition. And I always forget the other two. I'll come back to it. So again, the word of is a preposition indicating the union of both seals as one, with the European colonists being brought into the constitutional fold of government and accepted by the ancient ones, i.e. Muslims, Moors, the original people of the land, falsely known as Negro, Black, Colored, Afro-American, African-American, Latino, American Indian, Native Americans, etc., etc., etc. And as good brother Taj would say, are we clear? But little of the suppressed primal history is publicly taught, referencing the ancient Great Seal, nor of the institutions speaking for or representing we, the original people. Book notes. The following are excerpts from the book A History of the United States by Harry Williams of Louisiana State University, Richard N. Current, University of Wisconsin, and Frank Friedel, Harvard University. Second edition, printed in 1965. The Republican Party in each southern state rested on the basis of the Negro voters. And you'd be surprised to know, for those of you who've not been exposed to even that piece of true history, which is still quite very recent, Republicans were actually the Asiatics, again, i.e. misnomered, falsely known as, presently known as, Negro, Black, Colored, Afro-American, African-American, Native American, American Indian, Latino, etc., etc., etc. You dig? Republican power in the South depended upon three supports: the Negro vote, Republican control of the national government, and particularly of the presidency, and the presence of federal troops in the South. Reconstruction was the transforming changes that occurred in the entire nation between 1865 and 1877, the year when Southern whites overthrew the last Republican state governments in their section and ended political reconstruction. All attempts of the rich whites to dominate the Negro failed, and finally the promoters joined the general white opposition and radical reconstruction. By one method or another, legal or illegal, every white man was to be forced to join the Democratic Party or leave the community. By similar method, every Negro male was to be excluded from political action. In a few states, he was permitted to vote if he voted Democrat or Democratic. Lincoln's proclamation asked the South to recognize the reality that slavery was dead, but it did not require that a state formally abolish slavery as an institution. The Black Codes were the South's solution for the problem of the Negro laborer and its substitute for slavery as a white supremacy device. Some states passed their laws for the specific purpose of forcing the Negroes back to the plantations and farms. Socially, the codes were designed to govern relations between the races, to define the positions of the former slaves in the Southern society, and to invest the Negroes with a recognized and legal, although subordinate, status, because everything is status. Those who contended that education and economic progress was inadequate and advocated for more militant methods expressed themselves through a somewhat loose organization known as the Niagara Movement. But in 1909, after a race riot in Springfield, Illinois, they came together to establish the NAACP, or actually known National Association for the Advancement of Colored People. Although most of the officers of the new society were whites, the guiding spirit was W.E.B. Du Bois, i.e., a sellout. Black, Negro, African American History Month. That on its face should be so offensive to you if you have melanated skin that you would never participate in that BS in any way, shape, form, or fashion. But that's exactly why I bring you history and law all year round. Why? Because history and law should never be separated when speaking in reference to the past, present, and future. Time is not linear. It is a spiral, and points come back to one another to be repeated. Pressing on. Approximately around 1994, Anno Domini, the enclosed list of so-named African-American inventors and their inventions was widely publicized. For most, the publication brought about a long-denied feeling of pride. We began using such publications in our children's school reports and lecturing on them during Black, Negro, and or African American History Month. At the same time, such publications served as a political and social diversion to our minds, as they still are. We were so fascinated by the publications that we did not stop to think that a great deal of these inventions took place during the 16th, 17th, and 1800s, or 16s, 17s, and 1800s. If we were slaves who could not read or write and would be punished and sometimes be put to physical death, if we, the branded and subjugated people, tried to read or write, then what is the real truth? Because was that not supposed to be the high time of slavery for the so-called Negro, Black, and colored, or i.e. Asiatic people here at the Americas? Question. If the so-called Negroes, blacks, were slaves and could not read or write, then how could we have been astute enough to invent so many complicated machines and other complex things which definitively marks, contributes to, and strongly identifies North American culture? The answer is simple. There are many inventions that makes and absolutely identifies the American culture. Some of these inventions date back before we were officially branded and labeled Negroes, Blacks, Coloreds, Latinos, African Americans, West Indians, etc. We were the inventors, scientists, doctors, lawyers, i.e., lawmakers and lawgivers, chieftains, and, in fact, the mothers and fathers of civilization. Simple math Muslims. We, the original people of the land, often think that occupying Europeans callously stole credit for these inventions. As such, thefts were more common than not. In most instances, the suppressed people suffered theft of their inventions by conniving slaveholders. And this is the absolute truth. In another way, and with further analysis, this is only partly true, and this position must be examined, explained, and qualified. The colonizing Europeans did, however, hide the truth of both the national identities of the natural persons who really created many of these and of many other inventions which were not mentioned herein. Accreditation. And identity thefts of inventions and other false image acts against history and legacy were also initiated through what has been known as the Reconstruction era. By threat, deception, coercion, and default due to forced servitude, the Europeans fraudulently claimed and held ownership of these inventions by way of the negative social and political status imposed upon the true inventors. The subjugated natural people were forced to transact their life affairs using the imposed European family names and surnames. This, by coercion and duress, constitutes a malevolent fraud and was and is cited as such. Name denotes possession as well as pedigree. This misleading and servile use of the European family names as customarily forced upon and used by the so-named Negroes/blacks, created then during openly practiced slavery and now under bureaucracy a nom de guerre, social status, i.e. war name. Thus, this de facto brand name status made it difficult to prove by law that the Europeans had wrongfully stolen and taken these and other inventions from the Negroes/blacks due to their colorable status. After all, these inventions were registered in the European names. However, by this legal chicanery and by fraudulently claimed ownership and power of attorney, the thefts were legally successful. The past and present ignorance of consequences, usage of European surnames by the branded people puts them legally into the corporation, slave, and colorable social position, which constitutes a legal error and no standing at law. Such a status is not unlike the docket sheet status notation as was presented in the Dred Scott case of 1854 to 1857 Anno Domini, wherein plaintiff in error is plainly stated. Therefore, the civilitor mortuus status, i.e. dead in the eyes of the law, must not be ignored nor denied at that official nationalization activities and that official nationalization activities and a proper education concerning these matters is definitely needed and necessary for the so-called Negroes/blacks to understand and reason to correct our artificially created negative status and return to our free national names. One's proper person name indicates one's pedigree/lineage, heritage, and the geographical bonds indigenous to you and your nationality. Proper person identification also changes from negative to positive one's social and legal status at law. And note, legal and lawful are completely different. Legal can never be lawful, but something that's legal can be lawful, because the law establishes everything. With further emphasis put upon the issue of identity, also be clear that America is not a nation nor a nationality. I'll repeat. With further emphasis put upon the issue of identity, also be clear that America is not a nation nor a nationality. America is a continent, not a national identity. In fact, America is the name of 2 of the 7 major continents. America also encompasses an isthmus and a multitude of independent nation islands, Americana. And you can listen to, read up on the ETC previously posted on the YouTube. Also now coming to you for my podcast, Unchained Minds, soon to be uploaded to that as well. The reading for Moors and Mexicans and other Al-Morocc, South Al-Moroccan indigents, etc. Don't remember the title all the way through properly, but you get the point. Pardon me. No one who, with devious and usurping intent, alters or reconstructs geography and history can truthfully claim to be an American. Without their specific national identity and political jurisdiction, specifically indicated and verified by jurisdiction, country, geographic location, north, south, central, or island. America is a continents, not a nation nor a country. Another example of political and deceptive misrepresentation of the name America is as follows. When the president of the United States, U.S. political order of Central North America says that he is the president of America, he is making a fraudulent, encroaching, and deceptive statement, as is definitively being untruthful, and is being definitively untruthful, and is definitively being untruthful. America is properly defined as a native or aboriginal inhabitant of the Western Hemisphere. However, the name America, as usurped by European colonizers, does not determine nationality, nor does it determine pedigree? Example. Number 1, Europe is on a continent. Europe is not a continent. Europe is a part of the Asia Minor continent, of which England, France, Germany, Ireland, Deutschland, or Germany, Deutschland, Belgium, etc., are nationalities of Europe. Colonization does not, legally nor factually, change the bloodline nor national pedigree. Example number 2. Africa is a continent. Yes. Within Africa are lots of nationalities, approximately 54, having specifically different national names such as Zimbabwe, Nigeria, Somalia, Egypt, etc. A natural person from Africa never says, I am African. He or she will declare, I am Nigerian, I am Somali, from Somaliland, I am Moroccan, etc. In like form, the natural people of the Americas who have been falsely labeled Indians never say, I am Indian. They will say, I am Cherokee, I am Apache, I am Cheyenne, I am Moor, etc. India, properly Hindustan, is in the continent of Asia. Indians are from India. And even in this case, the word Indian is a misnomer. America is not India. The word Indian was also another European social engineering originating tag and label given and non-mutually put upon the true ancient inhabitants of the Americas, who are also descendants of our forefathers' ancestors and were of natural dark, olive, and brown/bronze complexion. One must keep in mind that the natural peoples historically called the colonizing alien Europeans paleface. All of the above valid points should begin to jar and reorient our minds back to a more keen level of consciousness and realization, which exposes the compromised educational system as imposed and handed down upon us and our children. The children are not getting an honest and unabridged education, but are being given a subjugating indoctrination, which is not beneficial to their rightful position in life, nor is it conducive to a fair, unhindered, and balanced pursuit of happiness. And that's facts. After examining and researching true world history for yourselves, you will, with a more honest outlook, make a clearer and more sound conclusion about the truth of the beneficial culture developments in the Americas. In order to change the people, you must change their literature. And so, in keeping with the spirit of the Aquarian informational history occasion, herein are listed a few of many inventions and contributions as were made by the indigenous natural peoples, Moors. Whether conscious or unconscious, some of these listings have been considered notable favorites among North American social and cultural activists and activities. The list is as follows. Paper, trees, ancient Egypt used papyrus. Chess, ancient principles of movement strategy. Alphabet, ancient Phoenicians, phonetics. Medicine, earth's natural herbs and spices. Civilized government, ancient. Aeroplane propelling, James S. Adams, not those brothers, for whatever their names are. Biscuit cutter, A.P. Ashbourne. Folding bed, L.C. Bailey. Coin changer, James A. Bauer. Rotary engine, Andrew J. Beard. Car coupler, Andrew Beard, J. Beard. Letterbox, C.E. Beckett. Stainless steel pads, Alfred Benjamin. Torpedo discharger, H. Bradbury. Disposable syringe, Phil Brooks. Home security system, Marie Brown. Corn planter, Henry Blair. Cotton planter, Henry Blair. Ironing board, Sarah Boone. Street sweeper, C.B. Brooks. Horse bridle bit, L.F. Brown. Typewriter, Borridge and Marshman. Train alarm, R.A. Butler. Image converter, George Carruthers. Radiation detector, George Carruthers. Peanut butter, George W. Carver. Paints and stains, George W. Carver. Lotion and soaps, George W. Carver. Automatic fishing reel, George Cook. Ice cream mold, A.L. Crail. Printing press, W.A. Lavaletti. Envelope seal, F.W. Leslie. Laser fuels, Lester Lee. Pressure cooker, Morris W. Lee. Window cleaner, A.L. Lewis. Pencil sharpener, John L. Love. Fire extinguisher, Tom J. Marshall. Lock, W.A. Martin. Shoe lasting machine, J. Matzberger. Lubricators, Elijah McCoy. Rocket catapult, Hugh MacDonald. Elevator, Alexander Miles. Gas mask, Garrett Morgan. And I swear to you, as I'm reading these names, they definitely sound so-called European. Traffic signal, Garrett Morgan. Hairbrush, Lyda Newman. Heating furnace, Alice H. Parker. Airship, blimp, J.F. Pickering. Folding chair, Purdy and Sadguar. Hand stamp, W.B. Purvis. Fountain pen, W.B. Purvis. Dustpan, L.P. Ray. Insect destroyer gun, A.C. Richardson. Baby buggy, W.H. Richardson. Sugar refinement, N. Rilexu. Or something French, most likely, with the X on the end. Relu, probably. I have no idea. Clothes dryer, C.T. Sampson. Cellular phone, Henry Sampson. Pressing comb, Walter Sammons. Curtain rod, S.R. Scott Run. Lawn sprinkler, J.W. Smith. Automatic gear shift, R.W. Spikes. Urinalysis machine, Dewey Sanderson. Horse riding saddle, W.M.D. Davis. Shoe, W.A. Deltz. Player piano, Joseph Dickinson. Record player alarm, Joseph Dickinson. Doorstop, Old Dorsey. Doorknob, Old Dorsey. Photo print wash, Clatonia J. Dorticus. Photo embossing machine, Clatonia J. Dorticus. Postal letterbox, P.W. Downing. Toilet or commode, T. Elkins. Furniture caster, David A. Fisher. Guitar, Robert Fleming Jr. Golf tee, George F. Grant. Motor, J. Gregory. Thermal hair clip curlers, Solomon Hopper. Lantern, Michael Harney. Gas burner, B.F. Jackson. Kitchen table, H.A. Jackson. Bicycle frame, Isaac R. Johnson. Wrench, J.A. Johnson. Eye protector, P. Johnson. Egg beater, W. Johnson. Defroster, Frederick M. Jones. Air conditioning unit, Frederick M. Jones. Two-cycle gas machine, Frederick M. Jones. Internal combustion engine, Frederick M. Jones. Starter generator, Frederick M. Jones. Refrigeration controls, Frederick M. Jones. Clothes dresser, John H. Jordan. Bottle caps, John and Long. Electric lamp, Vladimir Y. Nichols. Hydraulic shock absorber, Ralph Sanderson. Refrigerator, J. Standard. Mop, T.W. Stewart. Stair climbing wheelchair, Rufus J. Weaver. Fire escape ladder, J.B. Winters. Telephone transmitter, Granville T. Woods. Electric cutoff switch, Granville T. Woods. Relay instrument, Granville T. Woods. Telephone system, Granville T. Woods. Electromechanical brake, Granville T. Woods. Electric railway system, Granville T. Woods. Roller coaster, Granville T. Woods. Auto air brake, Granville T. Woods. Helicopter, Paul E. Williams. Sandy phone, I have no idea what that is. Jerry Johnson. Super soaker, Lonnie Johnson. Blood plasma, Dr. Charles Drew. Ice cream, Augustus Jackson. Pacemaker controls, Otis Boykin. Guided missile, Otis Boykin. Space shuttle retrieval arm, W.M. Harwell. Programmable remote control, Joseph N. Jackson. Video commander, Joseph N. Jackson. Multi-stage rocket, Adolph Shams. Important definitions. Oxford Dictionary is the book most scholars use. Webster Dictionary is what generally educated people use. When doing your research, it is recommended to use an unabridged dictionary. When studying law, use Black's Law Dictionary, preferred edition 1 through 4, particularly number 4. From Oxford Universal Dictionary, more. Late Modern English, if I'm not mistaken, that's what ME is. More, M-O-R-E. Okay. A-F. Again, more, M-O-R-E. More, M-A-U-R-E. A-D-L, Morris, M-A-U-R-U-S. And G-R, Maupus, M-A-U-P-O-S. Possibly some ancient North African word. In ancient history, a native of Mauritania, a region corresponding to parts of Morocco, and Algeria. Later, one belonging to the people of mixed Berber and Arab race, Mohammedan in religion, who in the 8th century conquered Spain. It was never Spain. That's a lie right there. It was Andalusia, or Al-Andalus. As late as the 17th century, the Moors were supposed to be the most black or very swarthy, though white Moors were known, and hence the word was often used for Negro. Number 2, a Mohammedan, especially one living in India, 1588, blackamoor. A Negro, a very dark-skinned person, now a nickname. The Negro, which we call the Blackie Moors. From Webster's Collegiate Dictionary, Moor, a native of Morocco or North African states, a Muslim of one of the native North African races, or of the Arabs settled in North Africa, especially one of the Saracenic invaders of Spain or their descendants. Blackamoor, a black, especially an African black, a Negro. Invention notables. The modern golf tee was invented by a dentist using the name Dr. George F. Grant. In 1892, O.E. Brown received a patent for the horseshoe. In 1899, L.R. Johnson received a patent for the bicycle frame. Ice cream was invented in 1832. Augusta Jackson. Cowboy. Bill Pickett invented the rodeo sport called bulldogging. In 1889, W.H. Richardson received a patent for the children's baby carriage. Garrett A. Morgan invented the gas mask and the first electric stop sign. Chief Justice Ben Bay, known as Benjamin Banneker, institutionally taught the Europeans of the ancient Moorish constitutional and governmental principles in Tsunami, sometimes called Egyptian Mystery Schools. Ben Bay, in accord with the mathematical and geometric principles, being organic of Moorish culture, laid out the intricate geometric design for the District of Columbia, Washington, D.C. Chief Justice Ben Bay gave a manuscript of his almanac to President Thomas Jefferson and to other Europeans as a gift. He also created the first clock to strike the hour. Lloyd Augusta Hall revolutionized the meatpacking industry by inventing curling slats for preserving and processing meats. In 1891, John Standard invented the refrigerator. Otis Boykin created the stimulated control unit, an important component for artificial hearts. Charles Drew invented the process used to preserve blood plasma, necessary for blood transfusions. Unfortunately, Charles Drew himself refused entry into a hospital and denied a blood transfusion, which resulted in his death. Wow. Cornelius Langston Henderson revolutionized the building industry by constructing the first all-welded factory for the General Electric Company in Petersboro. Selma Burke sculpted the image of President Franklin D. Roosevelt, a master mason, that appears on every U.S. U.S. dime. In one research, there were over 130 entries of the Moors' contributions to North American culture, ranging from and including inventions, business and industry, science, medicine and education, history, literature, politics and civil rights, performing arts, sports and music, etc. Comprehensive studies of music are beginning to focus on the uniquely non-European nature of music, and it has been found that our music is not limited to spirituals, jazz, and blues. These studies go back as far as 2 centuries ago. Much of what the world at large has known and considered uniquely American in the performing arts can be traced directly to us, the Moors, including drama and literature. And so, some of the major inventions which have greatly contributed to and formed North American culture and uplifted the world can now be rightfully, as far as information goes, credited to the true natural people who actually brought them into being, to the advancement and benefit of millions of people and on a universal scale. Why this information is important, by R.V. Bay. Sometimes I have had the occasion to meet people who, upon getting this information, have made statements such as, "I'm not going to see any changes in my lifetime, so I'm not concerned." My reply would be, then be concerned for your children if you love them, because they may benefit from changes made by your efforts and interests. Give them a chance. Because they are not prepared, they will suffer greatly. That's so real. Give them a chance, because if they are not prepared, they will suffer greatly, even more than you think they have suffered already. Honor your mothers and fathers, that your days on the earth may be lengthened. This statement of divine principle includes you and your posterity. Posterity means your children's children, collectively and for generations to come, as stated in preamble and to the Constitution. Although the subject of posterity is mentioned in the preamble to the Constitution, one of the most important civilization-oriented documents, those among us who love and recognize higher human civilization principles and respect nature, don't really need constant inspiration or inspirational statements to positively influence their thinking towards right action. They already know. Real talk, straight like that. They are the ones who harmonize with and follow the divine laws of nature, because they know that they are a part of and a product of nature, all law, i.e. Allah. All law, nature, all law, natural, common, and universal law supersedes changeable civil laws, politically created and abridged by dishonorable men. Since, by nature, woman is the universal womb, Islam, she is the first cultivator and nurturer of the progeny, babies, both male and female. She then has the natural and unlimited responsibility. She then has the natural and ultimate responsibility of passing on universal laws to her children, the ark, i.e. the womb, created by her womb. When she is pregnant, it is the true Ark of the Covenant and the first school for humanity. And so it is deemed needed and necessary to expose some of the original culture of the fallen Moors branded as blacks, as well as acknowledging many of their inventions and contributions to North American society and culture. If man and woman had maintained respect for the divine laws of nature and had not debased ourselves to alien idol God worship, we would not have fallen to the lower state in which we find ourselves now. This divine law violation goes back for many generations, long before many of the historical times and stories as have been written of in the Book of the Dead. And it is contemporary translation, the Bible, and its contemporary translation, the Bible. The ancient dark olive natural peoples of the earth, are the first violators of the law. Let the truth set you free. So, you Asiatics, falsely known today as Negro, Black, Colored, African American, Latino, Native American, American Indian, etc., are the first violators of the law. You broke it, you have to fix it. Johnny come lately isn't wise enough to have conquered you. So-called white man, he's not intelligent. They're not that intelligent to have conquered you. But they are cunning enough to recognize your weaknesses and capitalize on them. And our greatest weakness is our false separation from one another. Anyway, I digress. Pardon me. This is one of the reasons why we have suffered fraud, violence, and slavery by imposition and deception. Everyone who studies knows, without doubt, that the ancient Asiatic African peoples are the original people spoken of in ancient scriptures. For example, one of the many, like physical descriptions of Yeshua, Joshua, Jesus, was as follows. What thou seest, write in a book, and send it to the 7 temples, which are in Asia, to Ephesus, and to Smyrna, and to Pergamum, and to Thyatira, and to Sardis, and to Philadelphia, and to Laodicea. And I turned to see the voice that was speaking unto me. And having turned, I saw 7 golden lampstands. And in the midst of the 7 lampstands, one like to a son of man, clothed with a garment reaching down to the ankles, and a girt about the breast with a golden girdle. And his hair was like lamb's wool, and as white as snow, and his eyes were as a flame of fire, and his feet were as burnished bronze, as if burned in an oven, and his voice like the voice of many waters. And in his right hand he had 7 stars, and out of his mouth came forth a 2-edged sword, and his countenance was like sun shining in power. Pardon me. Many people feel comfortable waiting for Jesus to return, influenced by changeable and changing doctrines, instead of taking reasoned responsibility for becoming active, instead of being passive about their life conditions and civil affairs. Prayer without works are dead. And I swear, I think many, and I know and I see many, and I know personally that many Christians, because I at one time was a Bible thumper. I at one time claimed to be Christian. I just know better. Pray. Oh, just pray on it. Give it to God. Yeah. I promise you, those are empty words. Concerning the claim of his return, Jesus said, I must go away. If I do not go away, the Comforter will not come unto you. Surely I must go away. I go to my Father, and ye shall see me no more. I think that's very clear. In fact, I know that right there was very clear. You shall see me no more. Most people also feel comfortable in accepting the false belief that forced servitude and slavery is over within the political jurisdictions held under the U.S. Democracy Corporation. However, upon any serious research, and it doesn't take much, the institutionalization of slavery was secured upon the feigned ending of physical slavery and the adoption of the black codes. Yes, freedom must manifest first in the mind. Slavery in North America is now a mentally supported state of mind. Slavery is now mental, and that's where it takes its greatest toll. We have failed to take responsibility for who we are. Many of us don't even know, and some don't care. These types of negative responses to true history would not be so damaging if people knew that silent war was being waged against them. However, most do not know that we are at war, wherein it has gone from mental distortion to the spiritual. We have been taken to war physically, mentally, and now spiritually. Most people are aware of the mental war and think that they have politically and socially arrived upon receiving information and data, and that they have a deeper understanding than most. After all, they say freedom is in the mind. But we have not seen a revolution like that of a spiritual revolution, wherein the survival of the fittest kicks in at full gear, takes no prisoners, accepts no substitutes, and absolutely tolerates no excuses, as the basic, common, and universal needs of all humanity must be and will be met. Incorrigible intents of the colonists. If you have ever done history and law research and have read and studied the War Powers Act and the King Alfred Plan, wherein the offensive military plans are described, for the forced suppression of the branded black, Negro, colored people of the North American continent, these were concocted under the colorable rulership of the U.S. Democracy Corporate Government. You would then wisely know why you must be active and not passive concerning the interest and future of and for your children. If you have not publicly claimed your nationality, you have no recognized rights and standing at law, and cannot demand or command any justice according to law. You cannot, with legitimacy, go to the family of nations with complaints of your systematically instituted mistreatments. It is almost like someone is at the door waiting for a proper password. The deal is that the colonizing people, Europeans, modern Europeans that is, you have traditionally called white, and who you may think by history's records owes you something. Yeah, they don't. You basically gave it to them. They don't owe you anything. You need to stand up and say, I know what I know, and I know who I am. Give it, and that's not yours. Basically, owes you something for inflicting the compound years of inhumane transgressions, have never shown sincere respect for civilized governmental principles. This has been in evidence by the historical record and solidified by the facts and experience since the first day of their arrival on the shores of North, Central, and South Americas. A practice and cycle, imbalanced disdain for others, mean-spirited attitudes, colorable, tax extortion, the stealing of the lands, the leeching of the wealth and legacies of Asiatics, Africans, has been probably the most obvious mark or cultural signature that the colonizing modern Europeans have made upon civilization. The alien colonizing Albion, i.e. Europeans, having no admitted nationality, have no birthrights either, as long as they fictionally continue to claim white as a complexion substitute identity in place of their true and specified national geographic nation, part of Europe. If the artificially cast labeled whites in North America were to tell the truth, and some do, that they are in fact Europeans, modern, that is, Albions, then it would become clear to those who have overlooked the facts and to any other clear-thinking person that America is a continent, and America is a continent on one part of the earth, and that Europe is a part of a continent on another part of the earth. Europe is not a continent. Europeans have no rightful or lawful ownership or claims of land or people in North, Central, or South Americas, nor do they have any just claims as have been fraudulently made against the land, nor any truly valid rulership anywhere in or on the North American continent land. America is not Europe, and Europe is not America. Europeans are Europeans, modern Europeans, not Americans. Years of forced occupation, death, and subjugation does not make or transform a colonist and slaveholder into an indigenous or aboriginal natural person of America. Positive law does not evolve from theft, colonization, land theft, forced servitude, and lies. The former can only produce negative law and color of law. That is the absolute and most honest truth. The whole of the civilized world looks on observing the damage and retardation imposed upon civilization. They, the occupational Albions, i.e. Europeans, too, are shedding tears. Children are under attack every day and in every negative way. They have already been historically, socially, and economically cheated and denied rightful birth inheritance, Behold these things that are unfolding. My people perish by the day for the lack of knowledge. As above, so below. R.V. Bay. Islam. And that's not completely it. We're almost done here. The world is waiting. The many inventions which were directly and indirectly stolen from the socially and politically subjugated Moors, branded as blacks, Negroes, coloreds, Indians, etc., by way of corrupt colonizing government and slaveholders, has created an economic backbone and an indispensably profitable resource for Europeans occupying North America. The benefits are incalculable. The many disinherited descendant generations and families of the unnamed, robbed, enslaved, and subjugated inventors, as mentioned, have lacked economic supports for industry, self-governance, progress, and or living with any of life's comforts. This is a disgrace to justice and an affront to humanity. Up to this very day, many lack finance, living in poor cities, have little to sustain their families, and in general lack basic and elemental needs and necessities. Not only were the rightful heirs, inventors, denied compensation and linear benefits for their sacrifices and creative works, their own posterity is still denied the rightful benefits of these inventions. The wealth and profits generated by these and other inventions were not passed down to them. Instead, the wealth and benefits have been reaped by modern Europeans, Albions, slave-holding families, and still is multiplied in compound and perpetual gain. This is one of the major reasons why the Europeans put their family names on the subjugated Moors as blacks. And so, the theft is incorporated into society, which, with little notion of the grand scale of it all. As for the generations who are awakening to self-knowledge in these days, please stop looking for someone else to program a fix for this grandiose and ongoing theft. Please stop looking for someone else to program a fix for this grandiose and ongoing theft. It is up to the people, collectively, to make the efforts necessary for the rightful corrections. Until responsible order is recognized on a massive scale and acted upon, this monstrous theft and entrenched social wrong will not be corrected by the hands of those who lie, deceive, misgovern, and steal. And that is a fact, because I've never known a robber, a thief, to tell you when and where and how they're going to take what they're going to take from you. You dig? Anyway, moving on. It will not be corrected with or by passive placation. If this fraud and ongoing theft is not corrected, there will be no justice. Is there really caring for the children, or is that social statement just another of the many empty social cliches which have been common and disingenuous placations unique to North American subjugation culture? I swear on everything, that whole paragraph is so poignant. And mind you, this was in 2004. This is so-called Gregorian calendar year 2024. Man. And my people keep saying, they, why they let, They did this, they did that. They let these people do this. All the while, you're supposed to know law. You're supposed to be standing up and making them hold to their contractual obligations, oath of office, concerning the Constitution for the United States of America, Republic. The Republican Party in each southern state rested on the basis of the Negro voters. Republican power in the South depended on three supports: the Negro vote, Republican control of the national government, and particularly of the presidency, and the presence of federal troops in the South. By one method or another, legal or illegal, legal or illegal, every white man was to be forced to join the Democratic Party or leave the community. By similar methods, every Negro male was to be excluded from political action. In a few states, he was permitted to vote if he voted Democratic. Yes, there does exist a conspiracy. Tribute to the true inventors. Islam, I am honored to have this in hand, to be a part of this piece of work and reading it for my people, for it to be a part of a historical legacy, and for it to be carried on as it's supposed to be for my people, and even more so for the world at large, because many people in the world already know the truth and the facts, and they have been waiting, painstakingly waiting, for the original people to wake up in the land of milk and honey and say, I know I am home. I know I am more and not less. I thank you for joining me in this reading. And until next time, the 5 will keep you straight, and the 2 are your saving grace. That's love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice, nationality, and birthrights, i.e., divine creed. I am R.H.S.L.A.M. and peace.